Good morning, scrappers, scrapettes, scrapazoids, planet lovers, recyclers, and anybody else. So, your little buddy Scrappy D is here today. In response to your requests, we have, I'll be just continuing to put up some of the series on some of the boards and computers. As I process them. For those of you who've been following, you welcome in. Good to see you. And for those of you who are new to the channel, I am the Computer Scrapper. There's a lot of us out there, but I am the Computer Scrapper. That's what they call me around here. Sometimes they call me Scrappy D. Sometimes they call me D. Call me anything you want. Don't call me late for dinner. I do occasionally go on live. Just today, sometimes when I have material right in front of me that I'm processing then and there, I'll jump on and post it as a video, mostly out of consideration to the other content creators who might be on. So in front of me today, I have a Dell. This is a Dell. Hi Dell, how are you? And this Dell has an AMD Sempron processor and runs Windows XP. Polite way of saying it's old as you know what. I took some of it apart already, and then I realized I didn't really have any. I don't think I have any more of these on tap. I certainly don't have any more in the pod. So definitely want to make sure I get you. You know, you're up close and personal. These gotta go to your scrapyard. Be careful with them. I put them into a tin can with wax paper in between. They've got to be properly recycled. They can start a fire. And this computer has really nice gold plate under the battery. Always make sure you get the battery out. It's actually, not only is it dangerous, it's illegal to ship with batteries in. The exception seems to be laptops that are not charged and that battery fits that laptop. You want to save these guys. Beautiful gold plating. This is what gold refiners like. Not every battery compartment has it, but this one does because it's an older computer. I see a date of September 2006 on the HL data storage drive. The computer looks pretty clean, but I tend to avoid resale unless I absolutely know the history of the computer. I picked them up as scrap. I don't know if they've been abused. I don't know if they've been in the rain. I don't know if they have a virus. I don't know. So for me, the safest thing to do is scrap it. If like downstairs, I got a couple of really nice Macs, and I know I bought them from a guy who collects, he collects Macs. I know that's going to be a decent computer. He showed me it. It runs. I'm not afraid to sell that one. But something that I've just picked up as scrap somewhere, I tend to be a little bit more cautious. You wouldn't like me very much if you bought a computer from me and you got a virus, would you? So that's my thought on that. I am finding the upgrade cycle continuing to be very generous to scrappers. If you're sitting on any i5 series chips, I would advise you to sell them as soon as possible. They're rapidly becoming good for scrap only as a pinless CPU. i7 are still okay. I was surprised to find that even some of my i7 chips won't qualify for test and buy over at BoardSort or cellularboards.com. They're scrap, they're old. They can't run Windows 11. They don't have the capacity to do so, is what it comes down to. Even reselling, like I had an office pickup the other day, and they just wipe the hard drives and do whatever, and you can sell the computers if you want to, just make sure they're completely wiped, which I know how to do. But I took them over to the computer. I have a computer store that I'm building a nice relationship with. they do a lot of repair and resale. So if I get something that is something they can fix up for resale or they need the parts for, and I didn't pay anything for it, I usually pretty much just give it to them because they give me bins full of boards. And that's a great barter. Everybody wins. I don't have time to scrap all the damn computers that I get. And I'm sitting on an order for a fairly good sum, so I've really got to push through these computers. The weather is amazing. I've got a pod out in my driveway, and that pod is full of computers. We had a wicked winter here. Oh God, it was horrible. I mean, we were just buried for months. I couldn't get at any of my e-scrap. Number one, it was all on pallets. It was all covered. It was all shrink wrapped. I couldn't get into the storage area because there was 18 inches of snow in front of it, and it was frozen snow. It was and it was cold. Oh my God. I've lived in Connecticut my entire life. I don't mind the snow. That's fine. But it was bitter cold everywhere. So I am so far behind. But that's okay. You know, the weather's nice out now, and I spent some time building the channel, and then I spent a lot of time getting the instruments ready for my rental season for next year. So, you know, I stayed busy that way. Usually that's what I do in the summer, is I do my band instrument repairs. But I kind of wind up switching everything around because of the weather. Okay, so always check these. The SATA connectors usually have gold. Board Sort will buy those as gold connectors. Connector ends. This is dirty brass. If your yard will buy them as dirty brass, you're fine. But yeah, don't throw gold away, guys. This crummy spaghetti wire, my yard is paying 99 cents a pound for it. This is what's under there. That's the copper wire. So yeah, always double check these. And if you got gold in them, clip them. Board Sort will buy them. And I believe Zach at sellyourboards.com will also buy them. He's in Arizona. And Board Sort is in Ohio, geographically speaking. I also have some local buyers. I'm in Connecticut, and I do have some local people who buy from me. Now, this conversation comes up frequently over extruded aluminum, and I am going to do another video on that. I think I've got one somewhere. If I can find it, it might be a good thing to repost. If you watched my Screwed at the Scrapyard video a couple of weeks ago, I was pissed about the extruded aluminum. That to me is extruded aluminum, but notice I said but. Extruded aluminum has this kind of a look to it. It's been through some kind of press. The trouble is with extruded aluminum, you can't have this on it. If you can get it completely off, you've got to run a magnet over it. If there is the slightest bit of metal, do not put it in with your extruded aluminum. Extruded aluminum has to be clean beyond belief. Reason being, the yard is going to put, and I found this out the other day, they're going to buy it in quantity. They won't buy it from me in little pieces that I need to bring them like 6 garbage cans full. That'll take me about a week. But I can't put this in there. This has to go in with my light irony or old sheet. So these have to be separated. If I can get this clip off, and sometimes I can, I certainly am going to try. It has to be complete. I have to run a magnet over this, otherwise they're not going to take this as extruded, and rightly so, they're exactly right. Here's your issue. You put one of these in there and they run a magnet over your beautifully clean aluminum, they pick up any trace of magnet, they're going to downgrade your entire load, no questions asked, and they have every right to do so. Because if this is mixed in there and their buyer goes through it with the magnet and finds it, they're going to get downgraded. We're having that happen a lot with dirty copper lately too, so be careful with your copper too. You know, any slight trace of magnet, you cannot put it in with anything metallic. A clip or a snip or a little piece of steel, nope, cannot go as extruded, and they're right, so I will give them that one. Absolutely, 100% they're right. But, you know, the why is because they're going to get downgraded. So I had a very intense conversation with the scrapyard that I work with the other day. I've had this conversation with every single scrapyard under the sun about extruded aluminum. They're like, minus this guy. You know what, hang on a second, I got a piece over here, let me show you. So this, no question, will go as extruded aluminum. There's no copper, there's no metal. I can run the magnet all over that, it's not going anywhere. These are heat sinks. That's actually the heat sink I got out of this computer. That's a good pound right there, just in of itself. So, extruded aluminum, irony aluminum. If you can get this off completely, not the slightest little bit of magnet on it, yeah, you can put that in with your extruded aluminum, but you gotta clean it. Me, I just put them aside. If I get a chance to get to them, I do. If I don't, I don't. But these are separate. He said he wants about 6 or 8 garbage cans full. I'm up at about 5 right now, and he'll pay me the extruded. His reasoning is that he has to bale it, and he can't bale small amounts. It's a big yard. It's a commercial. It really is a commercial yard. They do they do all the things that commercial yards do, and he has his parameters he's got to work within too, and I get all that. I'm a businesswoman. I own my own business. I get all that. The thing was, he was really decent about it, because he says, you come in every day. You bring us, even though it's in small amounts, which it is. I'm not strong like some people who do this. Boy, this computer is super, super clean. Wow. I don't usually resale these, but I'm on a website. I don't remember which one it is. It's on Facebook, and somebody's actually looking for these. So if they'll take the chance on the shipping, because I can't test it, this is something I would possibly send to somebody who wants to test for resale. It is very clean. I see no evidence of abuse on this computer. And this isn't something that would hurt anybody, a virus or whatever. They're going to plug it in, test it, and see if it works. If it works, they'll send me a check. If it doesn't, they'll send it back. And I think that's a very fair way to do it. I can't verify that. Otherwise, what I would do is just truck this in with what we call media drives. This has, I don't want to take it apart, because now that I'm looking inside this computer, it's clean. I mean, it's really, really clean. A little bit of dust to be expected, but the computer, no, there's no rust, there's no sign of water damage. I'm comfortable enough sending this to him to try and test. And I'll take the serial number off it and everything else. I'll write him if he's willing to take care of the shipping to and from, with the option of testing it. And if it works, he can pay me. If it doesn't, send it back. Or just pay the shipping too, and I'll take my chances. But that's from a very structured website that's devoted to that. And he's looking for them. So yeah, that one I'm comfortable enough sending. But these computers that I've had sitting in my side yard on a pallet under shrink wrap, no, I wouldn't send those. But this one I got from an office, so it's it's just needing an upgrade and an update. But yeah, this computer is too old to run Windows 11. It can't accommodate it in any way, shape, or form. The CPU can't handle it. By the way, speaking of CPUs, BoardSword is going to start buying AMD Ryzen CPUs pretty soon. They're pinned. They're on metal. I don't have the CPU here. It went off in a box to be processed already. I tell you, I sell those as fast as I can box them. Whew. It is beautiful out. Oh my God, it was so cold all weekend. I didn't want to get out of bed. Alright, I'll clean this up. I'll get the plastic off of it. When you get ribbon cable like this, usually when you get a ribbon wire like this, you get nice gold pins underneath. Usually. Yep, especially on these older computers. So I'll get the plastic off. We'll do that right now. This is just going with my peripheral boards. See, it's got gold on it, so it can be put in with your peripherals. If there's no gold, it's just really just a low-grade junk board. But in this case, I've got gold here. I've got gold here, and you know, I can see some visible gold. But this will be a low-grade peripheral because there's really no chips on it to speak of. That can go with your low-grade, or you can chuck it in with your low-grade boards. They just, you know, don't chip your buyer, guys. That's the biggest thing. Make sure you're doing your best to sort it. I've got, you know, like these. I have a whole bin that's just these, just the Dell peripheral board. I forgot what this board is actually called, but it is from 2005, so I think I can justify the putting it in there because there is gold. See, these are SATA connectors. Sometimes they're gold, sometimes not. You got to really take a looky-see, and there's gold here. All right. Remember, board grading is not an exact science. Do your best. Do your homework. Board Sort should have Oscar back up again at some point to help you. Both Board Sort and SellYourBoards.com have excellent videos up on how to grade boards. Shark Scrapper has some really good videos up on how to grade boards. There's plenty of... I have some videos up on how... Oh yeah, I have some too. How to grade boards and such. I was watching poor Scrooge McDuckin take apart a computer yesterday. He's a gold refiner and he's really good at it. So he tends to take stuff in that's already broken apart, and he was getting advice from everybody online on how to take the computer apart and what to do with it, and I felt bad for him because I've been in that situation too. I've gotten online and started to do something and then gotten into all kinds of trouble with it. So he's taken all these things off and everything else, and he didn't need to. You know, I didn't want to upset him. I love Scrooge. He's a great content creator. All right. I felt bad for him. I was like, oh God. But you know what? Just like you and I, you learn by doing it. I mean, his thing is gold refining. He doesn't like to do take-aparts on his lives. And, you know, everybody's got their thing. I don't do gold refining. Definitely not. That is not for this girl. I sell material to people who do gold refining. I'm that middleman. In this case, middle woman. No, it's just not for me. It's not in my comfort zone. There we go. I should be wearing gloves. When you're pulling boards, you really do want to wear gloves. These things are razor sharp, and if you're trying to pull it out of something and you got to work at it, yeah, put your gloves on. Put your gloves on. Now here's a ribbon wire. I should have gold pins under here. Come on, you beastie. Scrooge is awesome. He's a great content creator. And I just felt bad for him because he was making extra work for himself, but nothing worse than being on the live and having everybody jump in and criticize you. Been there, done that. I've been on the live where my first live that I ever did, I sliced my hand open, so, you know, you kind of got to get your practice in. But I'll tell you one thing, nobody knows more about gold refining than that guy. That's his bailiwick, and he's good at it. So everybody has their bailiwick. Yeah, ribbon cable, nice gold wire. Now, gold pins. These gold pins are better than the I-Core pins. The I-Cores are newer. They have more brass and a lot less gold. The value of the board is really not very good. This is called a AMD motherboard. They throw these in with I-Core boards. In this case, though, I'm going to disagree, and I'm going to ask them to put it elsewhere because an I-Core board won't have this. An I-Core board won't have this. I-Core board won't have this nice gold. I put these separately, and I asked them to pay me a little bit more, only because the particular board is worth it. The I-Core boards, maybe you'll get, the value on the I-Core boards is going to be your CPU if you're lucky enough to get a working one. So this is the board that came out of a AMD Dell. It's an AMD Sempron board designed for Windows XP. I saw a date, Windows Vista. I saw a date on here, hang on. The older the board, the more gold you're going to get. This is a great board for a gold refiner. There's not too much here, though. See, this is where it hurts. This is where it hurts you. You don't get the gold that you get out of a pinless CPU there. But still, that's a fantastic board for gold refining. So I go by this. This is where I grade my boards. On oddballs like this, like I said, a lot of places will throw these in with the iCore boards. If it doesn't have these chips on it, yeah, I'll throw them in there too because there's not much value. But in this case, no, I'm going to put these separately. This is called the Socket AMD 2. It's right here. And I'm looking for the date on here. I know I saw it. I'm always looking for a date. I don't have a lot of luck with that lately. Getting old sucks. I don't consider myself old. Everybody else does, but I don't. Oh, I know where I saw the date on here. So on this it says September 2006. So that is a 20-year-old board. Pre-2020, you're going to do much better in the gold refining. So this is an AMD board. That's how it would be graded. It'll go in with your iCore boards, unless you're me and you have a lot of them and you put them aside because of the chips. I usually ask for a little bit of an upgrade on those, and I sell them for a little bit more as well. You've got to have a heck of a lot of them to make a legitimate argument. I don't propose depopulating boards because your board buyer will see evidence of that and they'll get really, really distrustful of you. These are the best things going for gold refining and RAM. So I got a nice pin CPU out of here, a Sempron. That's not resellable for anything except scrap. And I got some RAM. I got the media drive. I don't think I got a hard drive out of this one. If I did, it would be one of the old schools, I think. I don't remember getting one out of here. So that's your board. All right, and that is out of an AMD Sempron Windows 7 Dell computer from 2005. Okay, guys, I'll be back when I get something different for you. And see you when I see you. Bye.